Welcome to Journey to Esquire, the podcast. I'm Jocelyn Hardrick, founder and president of Diversity Access Pipeline, Inc., the company behind this podcast and other great programs, like Journey to Esquire Scholarship and Leadership Program, which provides $2,000 cash scholarships to third-year law students and internships to second-year law students, along with leadership training and mentors. And Journey to Esquire, the blog, which provides insightful articles to help navigate you through law school and beyond. Find out more on our website, www.journeytoesquire.com.
Hello, we are joined today with Judge Doug Walker. Could you take a second and introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Judge Doug Walker. I'm a county judge here in Orange County, Florida, currently assigned to a criminal division. I've been on the bench since May of 2022. Before that, I was a PIP plaintiff's attorney here in Orlando for about 5 years. Before that, I worked as an assistant public defender for about 3 years. First job out of law school was as an appellate law clerk, first for Judge Mark Poland, and then for Judge Alan Force, both at the 4th District Court of Appeal. So that's a little bit about me, where I'm at now, and kind of my work history up until this point.
Yes, thank you so much, Judge Walker, for taking the time out of your busy schedule and doing this interview for Journey to Esquire. It means a lot to us. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So where did you go to school for your undergrad and your law degree?
Yeah. My wife's a teacher at Valencia Community College. I went to community college at Santa Fe at first out of high school, where I tried to play baseball. And then I went to the University of Florida, got my undergraduate degree from the University of Florida in TV news, telecommunications, and political science was a double major. Then worked for 2 years back in Jacksonville for Merrill Lynch, doing essentially data entry for Merrill Lynch there. Decided to go to law school, went to law school at FIU in Miami, and to this day is one of the, best decision that I think I made. So I love my time at FIU.
Oh, that's great. Did you enjoy school? Like, were you a top tier student?
Yeah, so I think working for 2 years really helped me be a law student, because I approached law school very much like I did a job. And I've worked part-time jobs and full-time jobs throughout ever since I was 14 years old. So, I mean, I've always had a job, and I'm used to waking up early and working and putting in a full day's work. And that's how I approached law school. And I think it really helped me, because I didn't know any attorneys, no attorneys in my family, didn't know anyone, didn't really know what to expect with law school. And then orientation, the dean was Dean Acosta at the time, said, was your one out, just focus on making good grades. And I remember writing that down. I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. And I just would wake up, be at work at 7:15, 7:30, whatever it was, and then take a break for lunch and work till 5, sometimes 7:30, sometimes 3:30, depending on what needed to be done. But I treated my 1L year especially just like a full-time job, and I think it really helped me succeed that first year.
Absolutely. You didn't play around, it sounds like. You were a force to be reckoned with. How did you acclimate in law school?
Yeah, I think, just by doing that, just approaching it like a job, I think law school, like some undergrad class, you get the syllabus ahead of time, so you can kind of plan out. I need to be here by such and such day. I need to have this much done in the first month or whatever. And then you can still, go out to dinner during the week, or go to the beach on the weekends, or, you take a vacation on a Friday or whatever. I mean, when I say vacation, I mean like a day off or whatever it may be. I found the kids that my classmates that were really struggling with law school were those who kind of right from undergrad to law school and thought it was going to be the same. And
Right.
that, the week before finals, I'll just pull out my book and learn everything I need to learn for the final. And that didn't really work as well. So I think the acclimation to law school was a little easier for me, just because, like I said, I'd been working and treated it like a job. So I felt like I got a lot done, and my life wasn't, turned on its head in any way, because that's already what I was doing.
Right. What would you say was the hardest part for you?
I mean, just not knowing, law school, I don't know if my 1L year we even had a midterm, so you think you're doing what you need to be doing, you're participating, you're doing the readings, you're taking notes, you're making outlines, and you don't know until the grades come out if we're doing it correctly. So I think the hardest part is just trusting the process and trusting that you're doing the right thing when you really have no idea if you are.
I couldn't agree with you more. That is definitely been the hardest part here. I'll say more so now the professors are giving us midterms so we can kind of see, but not really, like you said. So what was your ultimate goal while you were in law school?
Yeah, so I mean, the story I tell is the true story. I decided to go to law school while I was working at Merrill Lynch and started studying for like the Series 7 and all these different licenses that go along in that industry, and kind of was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do as a career. So I started thinking about, well, what do I want to do? And was kicking around like an MBA. I was like, I think I need to go back to school, but I didn't know what I wanted to go back to school for. And I was in a dentist office actually, and I was reading an article about the versatility of a law degree, and I was like, oh, perfect. I can have some time to figure it out. You can start your own business, you can work for a nonprofit, you can even be a lawyer. All these different things you can do with a law degree. And so I just went to law school really not knowing what I wanted to do and just focused on making good grades. That worked out to where some more doors got open for me in my 2L and 3L year. And it wasn't until my 3L year where I took a trial advocacy course where we were learning trial skills, and the final was like an actual trial where the light kind of came on. I was like, I think I just want to be an attorney. I think I want to go to trial. I want to litigate cases and argue to juries. And that's when like I said, the light came on. And I said, let me try to make this happen.
That's incredible. What would you tell your younger self?
In law school, and even right after law school, I would just tell myself, you're doing good, because it's easy to look around and, I have friends I grew up with that didn't go to law school, didn't go to graduate school, just graduated from 4-year college, and they're buying new trucks. And meanwhile, I'm living in a garage apartment in West Palm Beach and driving an old Chevy Colorado that I opened with a fishing line to get in the front side door, and paying, I took out $100,000 in student loans, barely scraping by, making $50,000 a year as an appellate law clerk. And I look around and see people, not comparing yourself. And I wasn't necessarily comparing myself. I think my advice would be just you're doing good. Just keep working hard, and the rest just takes, trust yourself, trust God, and then the rest just takes care of itself.
Right? Look at you now. It's amazing.
No, I never envisioned this necessarily, but if you just keep your head down and work and trust that you're doing good things, and don't take any shortcuts, don't cut people off, don't, they tell you in law school, and it's very true, your reputation's important. It's the most important thing, and just try to foster a reputation of being on time and a hard worker and courteous. And I think that, you're not going to necessarily get rich right away, but eventually, all that goodwill and hard work, people notice, and they're willing to help you out when you need it.
Absolutely. What do you like to do for fun?
Well, right now, yeah, I've got a 4-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old daughter. So a lot of the stuff we do for fun is just, they help keep me young. We play outside.
No.
So whether it's, riding on the swings or riding scooters or hula hoops or kicking a ball around, and we just play outside all the time. A neighbor commented yesterday, she was pulling out going somewhere. You guys are outside all the time. I said, we just love it out here. So we like to play outside. I like to fish. I like to play golf. I can't get them to do that with me yet. So hopefully one day. I don't have a lot of time to do those things in the moment, but hopefully one day soon I can convince one of them that they like to fish and golf too. So.
Oh, that's cute. I know you have a very demanding schedule. How do you balance work and life?
It's different now in this role because a lot of the work there's work in the courthouse, and that's work. That's the work I enjoy. It's the work I like to do. There's a lot of like community events and voluntary bar associations and dinners and lunches and things like that, which take time away from my family, but they're fun events, I mean, and the worst things have happened to better people. I say all the time, but it's true that, when I'm away from my family, I feel sad's not the right word, a sense of I'd rather be with my family. But I'm at a dinner where there's food's good, the conversation's good. So it's not necessarily work, but it's work. I think the most important thing is, and it's easier said than done, and everyone I think tries to do this to a certain degree, is when you're at work, get your work done, work hard, and then when you're at home, put the phone away, put the computer away. When you're at home, be home, and when you're at work, be working. So that's important too, especially with COVID. I was working through COVID, and those lines got really blurred. So it's hard to kind of get back out of that every time I sit down at the breakfast table with a cup of coffee, not to open my laptop and start answering emails and things like that. Just I have to wait till I get to the office. So I think that's the most important thing.
Definitely. If you could give any piece of advice to anyone thinking about going to law school, what would it be?
I could talk to people who have done it and talk to people about their experiences, because I feel like people experience law school very differently. So I understand that it's not all what you see on TV. It's a lot of, I remember hearing people in my 1L class saying, man, it's a lot of reading and writing. Well, what do you think lawyers do? I mean, that is the job, is to read, to write, and to communicate. And communication, 90% of it, 95% of it, what we do as attorneys is written. So it is a lot of practice and reading and writing. So understand that going in, that it's not all, Law and Order TV shows, things like that, that it's a lot of reading and writing, a lot of quiet time with yourself and books and paper. Other than that, yeah, just make sure it's something you really want to do. And then once you make that decision, like anything else in life, I mean, you just got to commit to it. If you decide, hey, I'm going to go to law school, that's a big decision. And once you make that decision, I think it's important at that point to be like, all right, that part's, I made up my mind, I'm going to law school. Now the decision needs to be committing to being a good lawyer and a good law student.
You are absolutely right. I got into this thinking, being honest with you, because I am a first generation everything. So I got into this thinking it was going to be just like How to Get Away with Murder or how it was on TV, and talking to actual practicing attorneys and people that have been in this field. It's nothing like that, like nothing. So I think that's a very good key point to highlight to people. It's not like what you think it is at all.
Right.
So for our final question, what do you love most about what you do?
I love people. So, and I love interacting with people. I love our community. And I think what I love the most about what I do now is just getting to interact with people in our community on a daily basis. They bring their problems and their triumphs to us, and we get to share in that for better or worse. But I enjoy the human condition, the human experience, especially when you can experience that in kind of a service role where you really feel like a part of our community here in Central Florida. We love Central Florida. We're going to raise our family here. We got those little girls, and I think it's just important that we are active stewards and participants in our community. And this role allows me to do that on a daily basis. And that's what I love the most about it, for sure.
That's incredible, Judge Walker. How do you feel when you put that robe on?
I feel blessed, to be honest. Like I was telling someone the other day, when we get on the elevators here, they're stainless steel doors, and when they shut, I mean, every day you're staring at yourself in these stainless steel elevator doors, and every day it's unbelievable to me that I have the opportunity and the privilege of serving in the way that I do. And I just feel blessed at literally every single day to have that opportunity.
You truly are. I'm very impressed, and I really do want to thank you for this opportunity to interview you. And I just want to thank you personally for being such a great mentor, always reaching out. And I really appreciate you for taking the time out to do this for me and for Journey to Esquire. It's been a great interview. Do you have any closing remarks?
Oh, my pleasure. Anybody that's watching and thinking about law school or currently in law school, like I said, just keep believing in yourself and trusting that what you're doing is good and it's gonna work out. So, and lean on your network, lean on your professors, lean on your mentors, and yeah, at the end, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me.
Oh, great. All right. Thank you guys for joining Journey to Esquire. This has been Judge Doug Walker and Jamesia Jackson. I hope you enjoyed. Judge Walker gave us a lot of insight, and I hope you really hone in and take what he's given you. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Journey to Esquire, the podcast. Support, share, subscribe. And for more, visit www.journeytoesquire.com.